Hi, everybody. Michael Buffer here, and you are watching The Ross Owen Show.
Hi, you're watching The Ross Owen Show from Hollywood.
If I was to tell you I'd come all the way to Hollywood to chat to someone from Knightswood, you probably wouldn't be all that impressed. But if I told you this guy used to play for Partick Thistle, he worked on Radio Clyde as a DJ, and he's now interviewing the stars out here in Hollywood, you would know exactly why I'm sitting here with Ross King. Ross, how you doing, my man? Nice to see you.
How are you? Look at this. Did you get was a wee email this morning?
I've been taking tips, I've been watching you, and I'm following in your footsteps.
Hi, Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees here, and you're watching The Ross Owen Show.
Hi guys, we just had a little walk along Venice Boulevard, and I can't believe where we ended up. We've landed on a very iconic piece of ground. Just take a look and see if you recognise this place. From that classic movie from 1977, this is the school from Greece, and of course Grease 2. Standing right beside me, to my right here, is Eddie Deason.
Hello, Ross.
Eugene. Eddie, how are you?
How are you, Ross? It's a pleasure to see you.
No buzzer today.
No buzzer today, no bow tie, no white bucks. No, this is how I look now. This is what I've come to, yes.
Thanks for joining us today. Now, 1977, you made that movie Grease.
Yes.
Right here.
Summer of 77.
How old were you then?
I was 20 years old. I just turned 20. My very first movie, so I lucked out.
Keep watching The Ross Owen Show. Is that right? Is that his name? It is, okay. Keep watching.
So here I am in Los Angeles at the Commerce Casino, and I'm about to meet and play poker with the poker brat himself, Phil Hellmuth. Right here, stay tuned. We're at the Commerce Casino here in Los Angeles, and I'm with poker legend Phil Hellmuth, author of many books, but his latest book is this one here, #Positivity, and he's going to tell us all about it. Phil Hellmuth, thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely. Los Angeles. Los Angeles. That's how you pronounce it in Scotland?
Well, some people call it Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, maybe.
And we just say LA in Scotland.
I love it. I love it.
Sounds so showbiz when you say LA. So nice to meet you, man. It's great to finally catch up with you. I've been looking through this book. #Positivity. It's making all the waves on Amazon. Everybody's.
It's you know, it's been wonderful. You know, and for the people who know who Tony Robbins is, you know, kind of the biggest
guru guy,
huge guru, one of the biggest gurus on the planet, and Sheryl Sandberg, who started the Lean In movement, and is CEO of Facebook. COO of Facebook. They gave me some amazing jacket blurbs. I also put Draymond Green on there, the basketball player.
Right.
I love Draymond. But I mean, the response for this book has been amazing. It started slower though. Like, Play Poker Like the Pros is a New York Times best-selling book that I wrote.
Right.
But when it first went out, it didn't really catch, I think, a spark. Books need a spark. And so somebody just sent out an email to 10,000 of their followers. Jordan River, who's a kind of a famous guru guy too, just sent out a list to his 10,000 people to buy the book. Just out of the blue, he interviewed me months ago, and I was like, whoa, this is cool. It's a very simple book. It's 8 life tips. One of them is take your yearly goals, write them down, perfect the list over a day or two, and tape it to your bathroom mirror. Another chapter, write down your blessings. Health is always the top of that list, I can tell you. And once you go through it, like for me, on my blessings list, having 15 world championships is number 3 or 4 on that list. It's an amazing, incredible thing, but I mean, my wife and my kids and that stuff's up there. And so that's another one where you just take a couple of days, make sure it's right, and put that in your bathroom mirror. That's 2 of the chapters. It's beautiful, and it's amazing to have world-class people believing in the book and supporting me. And it's kind of the tricks and tips that I used to become the world's best poker player, to host television shows, to be very successful in business.
But you dedicated the book to your mum, your dad, your wife, and your mum in particular was the person you got the inspiration from to put the thing on the bathroom mirror. Is that right? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, a lot of people ask about that, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to just say it to the camera. You are what you think. You become what you think. What you think becomes reality. 3 lines taped to the bathroom mirror as
when
I
you were
grew
how
up.
old?
I mean, from the time I was 7 years old, that was taped to the bathroom mirror.
And this was for you and your brothers?
Correct. Right. My brother and 3 sisters, 7 of us living on the same floor, nice house, living on the same floor, all using the same bathroom. Right. Very small bathroom, and so that sign would get yellow after a couple of years, and then she'd replace it. And now my brother has a law firm, Hellmuth and Johnson, like 60 attorneys working for him. And my sister Carrie was a world-class cyclist. Now she has a PhD and a law degree, living in Italy. And my sister Molly was voted one of the top 30 scientists in the world, 30 under 30. So everybody's just kind of gone out there and achieved. But I really believe that you are what you think, you know, and then getting that message early allowed us to kind of choose our own destinies.
Well, you're a successful poker player, you're a successful businessman. What was your motivation for writing this book?
Oh man, I mean, so to me, it was the first time in my life I was worried about my own mortality.
Right.
Because I had to get this book out. I wanted to get this book out since '02, but it made sense to do the autobiography first. And so time kept passing. Finally, somebody pitched me about the autobiography. They came to me, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to get this done, because I have to get it done. And people understand, you know, you're writing 3 months every single day, you know, a couple thousand, 3,000 words a day. It's 145,000 words. But the minute that book was done and out, and I had there was an amazing book launch party. Sheryl Sandberg was there. Elon Musk came to my book launch party. I was high for a day. I was like, yes, yes, I'm a badass. Just amazing
King
people.
for a day.
Yeah, and it was very cool. But that book launch party was in August. By February of 2018, this book was out. And I told my wife, honey, if something happens to me, God forbid, I want you to promise me to finish this book, because these 8 life tips are going to help humanity. I'm going to help millions of people think bigger and do more with their lives.
I read through this book and you mentioned about some of your health issues, sleeping disorder.
Let me tell you something about sleep apnea. Public service announcement. Over 20% of the people on the planet have sleep apnea. So believe me, there's a lot of people out there that have it. If you snore at night, you have sleep apnea.
Right.
Now, I was waking up 42 times an hour. Now, I don't know I'm waking up 42 times an hour. I didn't even know.
You're just tired the next day.
Correct.
Right.
And so I was
You don't know
literally
why.
sleeping 11 hours a night. That was always part of my routine, 11, 12 hours, and I could afford to do that. And my wife, because we got married early, she didn't notice that I was
And also because you're on the road all the time, probably nobody's noticing it.
Right, she didn't notice that I was a tornado, but she did notice the minute that I had the machine, the sleep apnea machine.
Right.
All of a sudden, that side of the bed was quiet. And she was like, what's going on? She was flipped out a little bit. But I have not missed one night in 11 years, not one night on the machine. And the problem is sleep apnea is causal for diabetes and heart disease.
Right.
And I was diagnosed accidentally. We went in for my 10-year-old son, and he was scared to be in the hospital. I'm like, all right, test me too. Well, I'm the one that had it. Wow. But I mean, so for 11 years, I haven't missed one night, and it's completely changed my life. I still sleep 9 hours, but I'm not heading towards sleep apnea. I'm not heading towards heart disease. It's probably added 10, 15 years to my life. It's an important message for you out there watching this. If your spouse, your husband or your wife, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend is doing a lot of snoring, they have sleep apnea. It's so simple. There's a place very close to wherever you live, or you can go to sleepquest.com. I don't have a piece of SleepQuest, but they will send you machines. They'll mail you machines. You wear the machine one night, and they can tell you how many times per hour you're waking up. In my autobiography, I write about a chapter about how my wife almost left me. Mm-hmm. And I write another chapter about how I almost left her. Mm-hmm. Now, the people that read my book are freaking out because everybody in their 30s, you know, it seems like their wife's ready to leave them. And in their 40s, it seems like the husband's ready to leave the wife for whatever reason. It's almost standard.
Yeah.
And so my wife's like, why did you put that in there? It's too personal. I said, honey, we can help a ton of people that read this and say, wow, we're doing the same thing.
Right.
But Phil and Kathy fought through it. And they're still together, and they're happier than ever.
Exactly.
So if you can inspire people, whether it's keeping people together in relationships that they should be in,
right,
putting in the work and the effort, or whether it's having people think bigger and achieving more, I think, you know, I've realized since '02 that I inspire people because people are like, oh my God, how did you fold that hand? You so inspired me.
Yeah, sure.
And once I realized I could inspire people, it caused my life to take a turn.
We have some questions from some fans from Scotland. First one's from Mark. Wants to know, do you have a target number of bracelets by the time you retire? We know you've got 15 already.
24.
Very specific.
Well, yeah, in 1994, I decided I was going to win 24. I won 3 in 1 year, in 93. And I said, I'm going to win 24. I just told myself the number came to me. Right. So I don't know, is that like, some people were like, oh, that sounds a little weird, the number came to him. But however you want to mean, I mean, sometimes when something comes to you, there's logical and unconscious and subconscious reasons. But I just thought I'm going to win 24. Then I heard Phil Ivey say he's going to win 30. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to stop at 24. But I feel like I'm going to get to 24.
Right. Okay, so that question was from Mark. So thanks to Mark for that question. We have a question from Gordon, who wants to know, who do you consider to be your toughest ever opponent throughout your career? It's a difficult one, actually. And have you ever regretted any of your outbursts?
I think there's, okay, first of all, toughest opponent. I mean, when Lane Flack was drunk, I used to call him Drunk Lane. He was tough, man. I mean, he was just tough. He just basically had me handcuffed. But I could always beat him the big pot. But it was frustrating because I'd have to wait 2 or 3 hours. I couldn't really play my game. Phil Ivey's really tough. Negreanu has good reads. I've been lucky against Negreanu sometimes because he gives me a little bit too much action. But there's nobody really in specific other than, maybe those couple. Now, as far as outbursts go, do I regret any outbursts? I think sometimes the outbursts that I would regret aren't the ones that you folks would think. When I go back and watch myself, and I just lose it, that's authentic, natural, and normal. That's passionate. Just me. That's just passion. Right. I don't regret that as much. I think it sets a bad example sometimes. But the ones I don't like are when I'm very defensive. When people are like, Phil, you're not very good at poker, and I buy into that. Yeah. Because that just shows, that I struggled with my self-esteem, even in 2010 and 11, struggled with self-esteem. And so when I look back at that, I'm like, oh my God, Phil, you're buying into this BS when they're telling you you're not great at Hold'em. When everybody on the planet knows you're great at Hold'em, that's a weakness in you. And so sometimes I look back and I say, but now I think everything changed. Now I'm very confident in who I am, and they can't really use that routine on me anymore.
Well, really, poker's a bit like chess in that to televise a game like poker, it has to be entertaining, and to be entertaining you have to have characters. What's the state of poker today? I mean, it is more popular today, I think, across the world than it's ever been, but are there as many characters around today?
I think poker went like this until about 2011, when it was just straight up. No one could have predicted it. And then 2011, they outlawed online poker, and we started falling. And falling, and the numbers started dropping a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not at the World Series of Poker, the huge events, but the numbers around the globe definitely dropped. You went from spending $2 billion a year promoting the game to nothing, right? Just overnight in 2011. And now just recently, Poker Central and the Poker Go app, which I would recommend. If you like poker, the Poker Go app has world-class poker on it. It's amazing, and people are buying it.
Kevin Pollak was talking about this the other night. He was recommending it highly.
Yeah, it's like, if you like poker, it'll cost you $9 a month, or I think maybe $80 for the year, or $100 for the year. Mm-hmm. But you can watch network quality poker on that app. You can watch your favorites. There's entertaining shows, world-class players. But I think what happened was Poker Central and a man named Kerry Katz, who deserves a lot of credit for poker's revival, one man. And he basically, when ESPN's numbers were down a little bit, he went in there. Right. And so now ESPN and ESPN2 has 14 days of live World Series of Poker coverage. And during those 10-hour periods, it's on for 2 hours here, 6 hours there. When it's not, you can watch the Poker Go app. So basically there's 10 hours of coverage every day during the main event over like 14 days. And so poker just seems to have gone crazy again. So it went like this, came off a little bit, and now it's just going crazy. We had 1,100 people playing a $25,000 buy-in tournament in Bahamas, 2019 in January. And the numbers are off the hook right now. Huge, massive numbers everywhere. And we were seeing this for the smaller tournaments a few years ago. Right. There was one time where there was a $2 million guaranteed $300 buy-in, like in Philadelphia.
Right.
At the same time, $1 million guaranteed in Northern California. At the same time, a $1.5 million in LA. They all went flying over their numbers. So we knew poker was healthy, but now it just seems to be rocketing again. And a lot of that has to do with, with it being on ESPN.
Sure. And what about some of the characters in the game? Who do you miss? Doyle's recently retired, hasn't he?
Doyle is still playing. I mean, he's still filming. I mean, if you go to the Poker Go app, he has a once-a-month game there, super high stakes.
We can use it in Scotland, or is it just
all around the world?
Cool.
Poker goes everywhere. So if you want to watch Doyle play, and you can go back and check out the library of literally you can watch 1,000 different old-school poker shows. Poker Go is amazing. I mean, it's kind of the Netflix of poker.
Right.
And they're really crushing it. They have new content all the time. But Doyle has a monthly game, 2 days in a row, called Doyle's Game. They play like 1,500 and 3,000. People win and lose 100, 150,000.
Right.
And so that's great. So it's nice to see Doyle there. Daniel Negreanu messes with me a lot. And so, when we're doing the live World Series of Poker coverage, I thought my favorite role would be back there talking about all the hands with Norm and Lon. And I did that for 3 or 4 days this year.
Sure.
And it felt like it was really a natural fit for me. But I love being on the panel with me and Daniel and Kara Scott. And they cut to us, and we're live on ESPN.
So
and
goes.
The whole world's watching.
Right.
Not just ESPN, but it's in every country, basically, watching the World Series of Poker. And boom, they cut to us, and we have our segments ready, and we have our hands ready. But then Daniel just starts making fun of me.
No.
In front of the whole world. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can, and it's an honor, right, to be the one that they're making fun of, right?
Sure.
And he has me pretty cold. I mean, all right, these are the things that Phil does wrong. His ego's a little big, he's a little fiery. And so he'll fire at me, and it's just great stuff. I love the back and forth, and the world loves the back and forth.
Right.
So Daniel and I together on that panel, and Kara just handles herself
works.
perfectly. So it's just boom, 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 and I think that's a lot of fun. I'd rather be at the table winning the main event, and I feel like, I don't know, I've always felt like I'd get there again. I mean, it's hard though. There's 9,000 or 10,000 people, but there's so much skill.
And it's a different game now
in
from
that
when you
event.
started, isn't it? Because of the online poker, it's much faster now, isn't it? A much faster game.
I mean, the next generation, I love to play in the cash games with them because their math says they have to play too many hands.
Right.
And so they're just always colliding with me, who's just sitting back and waiting for them.
Right.
I can just sit back in the hills and ambush, and they know I'm sitting in the hills, and they still come running through.
Yeah. You let them steal from you.
Yeah. You can steal. You can pretend. Yeah, you're bluffing. And I'll even show a few strong laydowns.
Right.
And sometimes they're bluffing, sometimes they're not, and then boom.
Right.
The trap is sprung.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like. So, I guess I've been very fortunate that, that with all of the new mathematical theories that they develop, and they've gotten really, really, really good, at the end of the day, you have to look me in the eye. At the end of the day, I can read you. I'm looking at you, and I know whether you're weak or strong on my best days. And then that separates. I mean, if I can save my tournament life 2 or 3 times through a great read, or make a really great bluff to give me a bunch of extra chips, to give you more runway, a term we use in business, but also in poker, a little more runway. That's huge. So it doesn't take too many moves. And of course, when I'm at my best, when I'm a beast, it just seems like I just know where everybody is every hand, then I can accelerate that process. Right. And that doesn't always work. Sometimes, lately, I've known that someone's weak, I've called them, and then I get outdrawn. Because it's not like I have a great hand. I have ace-9, and I'm like, all right, I know they have king-10.
But if it's a lucky card.
Yeah, but I mean, can you complain? You were only, 60%? It's not like I can really complain. It's like, I know you're weak, I'm calling.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate it happens before the flop, right? Because
right.
if it's on the flop, then they're really in bad shape.
Yeah, sure.
And so, but generally speaking, then I always have the best hand. And when these 60% hold up a little bit more, and when I'm 4.5 to 1 favorites, when they hold up, I'm stringing together final tables and cashes and bracelets.
Is it a tactic of you pros to fake tells?
People believe what their minds tell them to believe. Okay, so if you're looking at somebody and you think that they're lying or you think that they're weak, you're going to call them. So I think we can influence what other people see, right?
Right.
And so if I make a big bluff, I remember, okay, what was I looking? Was I going like this? And then did I put the chips in like this, or did I push them in, or did I set them in? I try to recreate the exact movements of my bluff when I'm super strong. And then their mind is telling them something's wrong. I saw Phil bluff, he looked like this. I call. And of course I'm like, I have aces full.
Right.
I have 4 of a kind.
Right.
I have a straight flush, and you're just raking in chips. You can influence people to that degree.
Sure.
It's not something I use as frequently these days.
Sure.
Because sometimes if you convince somebody you're strong, you're weak, they just move in on you.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah,
It can get complicated. It's also nice if you tell people, basically through the cadence of your play, I'm strong, I have pocket tens. Then when they move in, then I know, wow, they're really strong.
Right.
Whereas if I'm out there flying around without a safety net,
Sure.
and I raise with tens, and they re-raise, they're just going to re-raise me because I'm playing so many hands. And so sometimes you want people to know where you're at so that your reads are better. And I kind of am using that style right now.
Right. Okay. Now, for anybody who's starting out in poker, would you advise them to start in like at the local casino in a live game, like a live tournament, a $10 tournament or something, you know, or online, because you can lose a lot of money when you don't know what you're doing?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think if you want to start playing poker, and we just don't know who the greatest poker players are going to be. We've had people that have second-grade educations from the hills of Tennessee that became great. You know, we've had rocket scientists that became great. It's really a human game.
Look at John Hess a couple of years ago when he came from nothing to the World Series, and he did so well.
Right.
And he was just such a humble man.
Yep. So we don't know who's going to be the next great player.
Sure.
But if you want to find out, then don't just blindly enter. Don't just blindly sit down. So, I mean, I think read my book, Play Poker Like the Pros. Read something by David Skalansky, maybe.
Right.
And really, it doesn't take long to read a book. You read my Hold'em sections in my book, it'll take you, 10 hours. And from that, you'll have a basic framework that will really protect you. My book protects you because I have people playing super, super, super patient. Okay? They're not really playing the game yet, but their patience protects them from losing money.
Right.
Because the number one thing in poker is patience. And so if you read my book, it's going to at least have you playing patiently until you get your bearing, until you get some footing.
Right.
And then you can add a few more hands to the mix, and then a few more hands, and then a few more hands. And you know, even for someone like me, I go back to the basics.
Sure.
When things aren't going well, which isn't very often, but even the last 16 days I've lost money, and normally I snap back very quickly. But but life's so amazing right now. I'm having so much fun. I need to snap back to patience again. Because playing patient is important. Super patience is important, especially for beginners. You can't get in there, play every hand, and lose your money quickly.
That's my problem. I get bored though. I'm an impatient guy, you know, and that's where I need to learn.
People get bored, but it's really
you want to be involved.
You're
in
supposed
the
to
game.
play 3 or 4 hands per hour.
Right.
If things are average, call it 4 hands per hour.
Okay.
And that can be slow to some people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's a social aspect of poker. And when you play online, now it's different. Now you're playing literally 300 hands per hour, 200 hands per hour. So now when you're playing 10%, you're actually playing 20 hands per hour. So if you're a super impatient type, you should be playing online because you can get more of a fix. Plus, when you're playing online, you can be checking other stuff. If you're going to go to a casino, you have to play very patiently. So if you're not having fun, don't go. But go because you want to be there with the people, and you can do some emails in between. Sometimes I'll do work, you know what I mean, or I'll play a game online to help me with my patience, because I'm not super patient either. I wasn't raised super patient.
Right.
It isn't in my instincts and abilities, and yet I'm known for my super patience. Why? Because that's what it takes to win.
Right. So I don't understand this. New player, as far as I'm concerned, I'm crap at the game. I'm still learning. I'm in a casino with 80 players in a tournament, and I won it. So how did I manage to win that night? I don't understand. Just lucky cards? Or, I mean, that can happen, right?
That can happen. That happens to beginners because they're overvaluing hands. Okay, so let's just say that you can't fold king queen suited.
Right.
Say you don't know how to fold king queen suited. So you're calling off a stack of chips with king queen suited, which you're not supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But the pro is bluffing. The young pro's bluffing with queen jack suited. Mm-hmm. So somehow, some way, you end up being a 2.5 to 1 favorite in this hand. Or maybe the pro has ace deuce. Or maybe he's overplaying a pair of fours. Pair of fours, you're even money. Ace deuce, you're 45% with your king queen suited.
Right.
So I see amateurs all the time, they just overplay the king queen suited, and it just ends up working out for them. Now, if you're playing in a tournament with 2-hour levels, king queen suited is going to get you busted.
Right.
But if you're playing in an 80-player tournament that's going to end in 8 hours or 6 hours,
sure,
you can get away with king queen suited.
Right.
So that's what happened.
But then you get guys as well who have got their lucky hand. There's one guy in the casino always plays 9-2. Like, that's his lucky hand. I like 10-8, suited preferably.
10-8, that's interesting. 10-8 was my favorite hand.
Really?
I used to love 10-8, and like I said, and then in 1989, I won the main event, and it was 2 black 9s. So then, of course, 2 black 9s becomes your hand forever.
Of course.
So the 10-8 hasn't been played as much in 30 years. But you have to, so I don't necessarily think of people playing specific hands, because that doesn't come up on a regular basis for me. I play in a group with a bunch of famous tech billionaires, and no one's really wedded to a specific hand in that game. And in tournaments, there's such a fluctuation of people you play with. I mean, when I go down and play, there's going to be 800 people. It might be that my first table I know no one.
Yeah.
It might be that I know 4 guys.
Right.
But none of them specifically wedded to a hand, so we don't quite think like that.
Right. Okay. Now, just to finish talking about positivity, we'll just show it again here. If there are 3 key messages you want people to know about this, what would they be?
I mean, my favorite chapter is called Hate Hurts You.
Okay.
And I invented a 3-step process for getting rid of hate in your life. I Googled this. No one had done this.
We were talking about this in the car, this chapter, actually. Yeah, and to forgive people.
That chapter can change the world. It's very simple for you folks at home. Listen, I'm going to ask you 2 or 3. We'll go through this very quickly. Think of the person that you hate the most. You have that person in your mind? Okay. That person's not thinking about you. Probably never thinks about you. And yet you're spending time hating that person. So what do? You take that person, you think about why they did what they did to you. Why do you hate them? Is there any reason behind what they did? A lot of times, there's not enough good reason. But sometimes there's something. Step 2, so that almost never works, to think about the person you hate and why they slighted you. Step 2, try to think of one good thing about that person. One guy I couldn't see much, but a lot of times they're a family person or they give money to charity. You can find something good in that person. One guy, the only thing I could find good in him is he was funny. It was something. Yeah. And then step 3, go to your bedroom, lock the door, make sure there's nobody else in the house, and you need about a half an hour, and lie down on your bed, close your eyes, and start sending love to the person that you hate, to that person. It's going to feel so weird to you. You're going to be like, what am I doing? And every time I do this, then I can't help but spend another 20 minutes sending love to everybody I love. All right, now I'm sending love to my wife. Now I'm sending love to my kids and my parents and my brothers and my sisters, right? But by sending love to that person, it does something, it has a really funny effect on your own mind. Because your mind is like, all of a sudden, the hate decreases and decreases and decreases, which creates more room for other things in your life. Call it love, call it whatever you want. There's going to be a lot more room for other things. Sure. The weird thing to me is almost every time I've done this, when I first see that person who I didn't like very much, it's like they somehow knew that I did this. But that's not logical. But let's take a logical point of view. Maybe that person sees me looking at him differently this time, right? You're like, whoa, he's looking at me differently. And then that softens him a little bit. And so there's a lot of logic to this as well, because all of a sudden you're not like, look at this guy. You're like,
yeah, right.
How you doing? right? And so they're like, whoa, this is completely different. That softens them. So I think this is a super important thing for humanity, to be able to clear all the people in their life that they hate. So I can tell you right now, there's not one person on the planet that I hate or dislike. I don't have time for that. And when I walk down the hallway of my mind and the hallway of life, and everybody on the planet's walking towards me, I don't have to turn left, I don't have to turn right, I just walk. That's powerful.
I think that's fantastic advice, and I think everybody should have a copy of this book. It's a handbook, it's a coffee table book. You can take it everywhere you go and just, flick through it for daily advice.
70 minutes to read.
And so how many books do you have out right now altogether?
Well, this is beautiful. This is the one where I talk about, there's a chapter in there where my wife almost left me,
right.
All the reasons why, and then the chapter on why I almost left her, and how we made it through. It's just, I think this is very thrilling. It's very fast. You don't put this book down,
right.
Which is great. It's like, I don't know, I'm a pretty good storyteller, I think. But this, man, my hands, I finally feel better. But for like a year, I wrote this 145,000 words.
Right.
It's like 13 hours on audio.
Crikey.
And I did the audio myself.
You did?
Yeah. So I read it myself if you want to get the audio
Sure.
version. But man, my hands were in pain after this. And but I'm really proud of it. It's very chronological. Talks
So you
about
didn't have it like a ghostwriter or anything like that? You did it all?
zero. I wrote 100% of the words. 100%. I had an editor
Sure.
who helped me, using the in the wrong context
sure.
or whatever.
Can't be with the grammar.
Yeah.
There you go.
But didn't really change anything. This is just.
That's an awesome feat on its own, because it's not easy. And you've written, how many books?
145,000 words. Now, my last 97,000 words was Play Poker Like the Pros.
Right.
I wrote 90,000. Somebody helped me with 7,000. But that was my book through and through.
Yeah.
And that was a New York Times bestseller. So I knew I could write this. I didn't understand it would be 148,000 words when I started writing. It just kept going, and I was like, oh my God. Your first book is 100,000 words almost. Your second's 145,000. What is going on here?
Right, yeah.
And I've had some other column compilation books in there. Bad Beats and Lucky Draws as a book.
Sure.
But those are a lot easier.
And is there more to come? Can we expect more books?
100%. So positivity, and I get to hang out with the most, I really am lucky. I get to hang out with the coolest people in the world. Last night I had dinner with Peter Guber. He owns the Dodgers and the Warriors. He made $1 billion, with Sony.
Right.
He owns 50 sports franchises. He was head of Sony, head of Dick Clark Productions. And he and I just talked for 2 hours at dinner. It was really, really, really nice. And he gave me an idea for a book. Jack Dorsey, who's Twitter and Square, the multi-billionaire,
right.
He gave me an idea for a book, and so Positivity 2 is going to come out. It may be the life habits of 8 of the world's most successful people.
Right.
I would put Jack Dorsey in there, Peter Guber, Chamath Palihapitiya,
Right.
Sheryl Sandberg. I have a very interesting crew of people in there.
Sure.
But anyway.
So we better
yeah.
start saving up to for our next flight back to California to talk to Phil about positivity too.
By the way, Amazon.com, I think this book's like $10 or something. It's not
Right.
much.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Change your life, folks.
Positivity, hashtag positivity, and if you're on Twitter or you're on Instagram, be sure to use that hashtag as well when you've read the book. And I'm sure Phil, who's on Twitter, would love to hear from you and what you think.
I do love it. People tell me, they send me pictures of, I took your advice and put my yearly goals taped into my bathroom mirror. So they
Right.
send me pictures of their yearly goals.
Right, oh that's
Which
nice.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the Twitters coming in, and it's nice when people tell me that I change their lives all the time.
Sure.
Phil, you changed my life. And and that's beautiful, and I feel great about that. I want to hear that from 1 million people or 2 million people.
Sure thing. Well, a few months
Does
down
that
the
make me greedy?
No, listen, that's what it's all about. It's a rewarding project. I love the game. I love watching the game. I'm learning the game. And one of the sponsors of my show, Pennycars Stadium, has that's in Airdrie in Scotland, has very kindly agreed to put up $500 to allow me to play you heads up. Now, they obviously don't know how crap I am at poker, or they've just decided to donate the money, but are you up for the challenge?
Yes.
Do we have the time?
Yes.
And
yes.
I thought if we played for cash, maybe you would try a little harder, but I'm really going to impress my friends if I can beat one hand. If I can win one hand, I'll be happy. So, it's a deal?
Obviously, you're going to win more than one hand.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
But I want to tell you that I just won the Heads Up Championship on the East Coast a couple of weeks ago with 64 players. Okay. I was on my friend's jet yesterday flying from Northern California to LA. We played two $500 free outs. He did win the second one.
Right.
I don't lose very often.
Right.
So we broke even.
Right, okay.
But we can play right here at this table or maybe downstairs, whatever.
Whatever. Listen, I want to make you comfortable so that...
It might be better just to play here because it's down there. It'll be a little loud.
Sure, maybe noisy down there. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
We'll have to get cards and chips in.
Okay, you take a check. Phil Hellmuth, thanks for talking to us.
The check's in the mail?
The check's in the mail. Phil Hellmuth, ladies and gentlemen, live in California.
I love it. Yo, I'm Phil Hellmuth, 15-time world champion in poker, and you're watching The Ross Owen Show.
So we have a makeshift poker table here, just like home, because when I play on a Friday night, we play in a shed. Play poker in a shed with the lads, we have a drink, and makes me feel so at home. And since Pennycar Stadium have sponsored this match, let's get an Airdrie shirt up there. You're a big football fan, what do you think of the shirt?
I do like that shirt. But I like Green Bay Packers shirt more, baby. All right, I'm going to check. Go ahead and deal the flop.
Okay, so burn and
First
turn.
hand is underway. I'll check.
Okay, so I'm going to bet.
You're going to bet one?
Yeah.
You know the Scottish don't bluff. You know that, right?
You're right.
Call.
Okay, burn and turn.
Check.
I'll check.
You have a pair of nines? Check. Oh, you have 7-8 high. Nothing, huh?
Yeah, I'll check as well. I'll show you what I had.
Queen high.
Okay, you just beat me with the jack. I was on a straight
Woo!
draw.
I was on a straight draw too.
The queen I wanted. One down to Phil.
I wanted the jack. I might have ended the match on the first hand if
Holy
a jack
shit.
fell.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to call. No raise.
Okay.
You want to raise?
No, I'm going to check.
Okay, let's take a look.
Okay, I'll check.
How about 2?
Okay, I'll raise you 2.
I'll call. This could be it right here.
On me?
Yeah.
I'll check.
All right, I better check.
I'll check.
Check.
I've got 3 5s.
God, you were drawing dead on this hand. Oh, I almost moved in. I have 7s in open ender. You have 5s in an open ender. Come on, man.
So did I play that right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I like the raise. I like the aggression. I like the check.
Good.
Maybe bet the river for a little bit. Maybe
Right.
4 or something.
Well, I
like
tried
that.
to get you, but instigate. I thought maybe you would.
God dang it.
I was on a straight draw as well. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, you fed a pair in a straight draw and played it aggressively, and I had top pair in a straight draw.
Right. So that's
if I would have, it would have been interesting if I would have moved in there.
Right.
On the flop, you would have called. You would have had to call.
Right.
And then you would have drawing to a 5 to win all of it.
Right.
And you would hit the 5 for
So that's
all of
exactly
it.
what we were talking about that earlier.
All right, your deal. Go
Okay,
ahead.
do you want to cut?
No.
Okay.
Cutting is always a good idea, but I just, whatever.
Okay, I'm just going to call.
Check. Man, we both had a flop there. Well, I averted disaster. 1 chip.
Okay. Who's the very young player? He always wears a scarf. He's foreign. He's not from America.
From Italy?
Yeah, he's
Check.
Yeah, I'll check as well.
Yeah, that's, check.
Here we go again. I'm going to bet 3.
I have a pair of 4s.
You're not call, oh, you're folding? Okay, I've got 3 9s.
Woo!
Exact same thing again.
Trips, twice hands, 2 in a row. But that other hand, wow. Oh, yeah, now film him with the damn chips. Come on, man. Those are supposed to be my chips. He had a 5 burger.
I can smell a rematch coming up. Okay.
Cut if you want.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Cutting is always good. I'm going to check. You want to raise?
No, I'm going to check.
Man.
Okay, I'm going to check.
Seems like you made something, so I'm going to check also.
Okay, I'll just bet 2.
Seems like I have something big too, so I'm going to call you. Interesting hand here.
Okay, I'm going to bet 4.
Oh, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing if I lose this hand. Okay, you're not bluffing. Wow. You have 3 10s?
I'm just going to check again. What would be the chances of that happening 3 times in a row? I mean, really?
Wow, that scares me. Oh my
what
god,
would
you
be
do
the
have 3
chances?
10s. See, I have 8s with the queen. I'm not allowed to fold this, but I'll fold this.
You would have won.
Oh my god! Oh, I got bluffed! Oh!
Again, I flopped a straight draw. And a flush draw I was on as well. With
But
the
my
jack.
flush was no good. I had the queen of
You had
diamonds.
the queen. I had it diamond.
God,
didn't
what
come.
am I doing? I
I'm so
convinced
glad you-
myself the Scottish never bluff.
That was so. When you said, okay,
The Scottish never bluff. Oh, he used that against me.
Yep.
How
When
can
you
I
said- when
fold
you
that?
said, I know you're not
Nobody would have
bluffing,
folded that hand. Oh, that hurt. How did I get
Okay.
bluffed there? Oh. Man, I assumed you would never try to bluff me. You want to raise?
No, check.
I just assumed you'd never try to bluff me. Bad assumption.
There's your king.
One
From last
chip.
hand. And I'm going to fold. Because I've got a 10 and a 3.
Which I can't beat. But
So they say heads up, you always play, you play every hand more or less.
you can't take it. You can't take any time off. So 2 weeks ago in America here, I won a heads-up tournament. My heads-up record's kind of the, well, I don't know. It's going to sound braggy, but I think I have one of the best heads-up records in history. Cut. And so I just won a heads-up tournament. I've played 1 in 2 years, and I won it. It was great on the East Coast. You can't take any time off. So my matches were 2 hours each. It took 2 days. And so I was napping after every match. I mean, it's so tiring because you can't take a hand off when you're playing heads up. Check.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to raise. Just 2 more.
All right, I'm going to call because I think you might bluff it off to me this hand.
On me?
Yeah,
3 more.
all in.
Oh, okay. Let me have a look. I'm going
7.
to fold.
Yes, I had a 9. No bluffing.
I had one of those.
I thought maybe you had an ace rag. Oh, look who's back in the match after a bold move. Woo! 1 and 1.
Okay.
Look
I
who's
got
back.
bummed. I got bummed there.
No, I mean I had the best hand. I
Yep.
wasn't bluffing. You want to raise?
No, I'm going to check.
Me too.
There's my ace there.
1 chip.
And I'm going to call you.
I think you have a jack or a queen. Check.
Okay, I'm going to bet 2.
Fold. Jack
Okay,
high?
I've got 10. 10 and a 9.
That's good. I had queen high.
So quite often heads up, any pair is good. I mean, a 2 can be good and a heads up.
Heads up is all about reads.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
made
yeah.
a very good bluff. That should make the cut. You made a very good bluff when you bluffed me off of an 8 because that's a strong hand that I usually wouldn't fold. But I convinced myself. It is true I played with Scottish players and they never bluff. So I was like, all right, he's not going to try to bluff me. You're first?
Okay, I'm going to bet 2.
Come on, I have king, queen suited. Ah. Come on. Come on, mate.
I had a 10.
Yes, I know. I was trapping you. That's the danger when you just call with king, queen suited trying to trap your opponent. If it comes a king and a 10, you're going to lose a lot of chips because
Right,
you don't know
exactly.
how strong.
Right. And that's what I'm
But then
waiting
the
on
problem
happening.
is sometimes you just flop it and
Hit the other one if you check it through and you go, if you let me in then, and I hit that second card,
yeah.
but then, okay, so I'm
You
going to
want
check.
to raise?
Yeah.
All right, I'll check.
That's a nice
Check.
flop. Okay, I'm going to bet 2.
6.
Oh, cool.
I think this is going to be the... Oh, well, not the final hand. That's right. I think you have a 3.
I'll check.
All right, go
I
ahead.
saw it's on you.
5 chips.
How many do you have left?
4.
That's all you had left. Wow. Trouble is, I can't beat you. Whatever you've got, I can't beat you because I missed. So I'll fold. Woo! And I don't have big enough cards to beat you.
You have a flush draw? How high?
I just, no, I ended up, I was just seeing it through because I was checking it through, but I ended up with.
Ah, you were right. I was bluffing. But I hit a 10.
But I had nothing to call you with.
No,
What
I
did you
had
have with the 10?
10-9.
That's what I had.
No, you had 7-8, I think.
Oh, so I did, so I did. So
Yeah,
you got
you
up
had
here.
7-8.
You had, right?
I did have you. I check raised you with nothing because I thought you had nothing.
Correct,
Then
yeah.
you called me, which surprised me, and then I kind of gave up. Which
Okay, I didn't think you had anything either. I didn't think you had the ace.
I should have checked on the river because you might bluff 8 high there.
Okay,
right?
so I'll check.
It's on me. I'll check.
That's the same flop.
What the heck is
Isn't it?
going on? That's some
incredible.
bad shuffling. Some bad shuffling.
Okay, I'm going to check.
I'm gonna bet 1.
Oh, cool.
I think you called me with a 9 or 10.
I'll bet 3 with my 9.
Jeez, I have queen high.
I've got a 3.
That's the second time I tried to trap you. It didn't work. Queen jack.
And then the 9 came out and that scared you.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want a cup?
You made a good bet.
That's the important thing, isn't it? It's knowing how much to bet at that particular time.
Sometimes you have to bet, otherwise the other guy's going to get there.
Right. If
To
you're going
protect your hand.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to check.
Check. Check.
Yeah, I'll check.
Check.
Okay, let me just look again to make sure I've still got a 5. Is that good enough?
I don't believe you have a 5.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
In some places
Yeah,
you're
but-
not allowed
but
to say it?
You can say that, but I know you don't have a 5. So
Okay,
go
I'll
ahead.
check.
Ah, you know I know. Check.
It's only 2 chips in the pot. Is it worth it? I bet 2. You gonna fold? Yeah, I missed altogether. Missed everything.
Yeah, I had 10 high.
Yeah, you beat me.
Oh,
I
damn
done
it! I should have called you with 10
I think
high.
I've done 8 and a 2.
Shit. I should have called. Ah, I knew you had nothing before the river.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh.
I thought I'd hit the 9, but then
No,
I
you gotta
realised-
cut, you gotta
I
cut.
realised I didn't have the 9, so
He's
got
bluffed
some of
me
his
twice.
chips back.
But the funny thing is, in the heads up I won, my opponents won about 55% of the pots. I never won more than they did, but I won every match. So I let them get away with a few bluffs, and then all of a sudden,
He's reading me at the moment. He's figuring me out at the moment.
I'm gonna check. I just
Yeah,
gotta
I'll
keep
check.
calling. I just keep calling with these hands, trying to have us both flop something nice.
I'm gonna bet.
Fold.
I was on a straight draw again.
Your 2 chips.
Okay, I'll leave 1 in. So, how often do you actually play poker? And do you get fed up? I mean, you must. You've been playing it for
That's
so
a good
long.
question. No, because I'd never get fed up because I don't play enough. Like for years, I played less than every other top pro in the world. Less poker than everybody else.
Right.
Yeah, not even close. The World Series of Poker, yeah, I'm there for the whole month and a half working hard.
Right.
But then I play like, I don't know, 1 tournament a month outside of it.
Right. Really.
Yeah. More this year. But generally speaking, 7 tournaments, maybe up to 10 every year outside the World Series.
Right.
Everybody else is playing 20 or 30.
Right.
My life's so amazing.
Yeah. It's
Are you going to raise or?
no, I'm going to check.
Go ahead.
You happy with that? It's missing the family. I mean, I'm a performer.
Check.
You know, I sing, I do magic shows and stuff. I move around, and one of the things is missing the family. That's one of the biggest things, isn't it? When you move around and working all the time. Yeah, I'll check as well. But they seem pretty patient about it all. I mean, they've all got their own things
Check.
going on. Check.
And I'm going to check.
I'll bet 2.
I'm going to raise 3.
Because
I think you have jack high.
You've got absolutely. had nothing to call you. I was trying to pinch it. I couldn't turn over
I
a
had
4
a
on a
full
7.
house. I had a 5.
You had a full house?
Yeah, of course.
Shit.
I have to let you bluff off. I told you what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
that's what's going to happen. That was all.
You got away with a couple bluffs,
I
but
should have just thrown it away.
he's actually plays pretty good. He plays pretty good. He's gotten away with 2 bluffs already, but he doesn't know that I want him to bluff me.
And how many Scotsmen have you played in your life?
I mean, I played with the Scottish way back in the day when they'd come over, and they were always very patient players. I'm going to check.
I'm going to raise.
3?
Yeah.
I have king high and I fold. How about that for you? You play
too
king
much?
queen differently than me.
So I should have played that, like slow played that.
No, because you have to stick to your style.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm the only one that can check king queen and get away with it.
Right. How often do you fold aces? Pocket
deal.
aces?
I mean, as often as I have to.
Is
Hopefully
that
not too often, you know what I
yeah?
mean?
Is that my chip or yours? Is that yours?
Yeah, you owe 1. You want to raise?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to raise this one. I'm going to raise it 2.
I'm going to call you.
Okay.
We're both involved, finally. Check.
I'm going to bet 3.
All in.
Ooh, ho, ho, ho. That's so tempting. That's so tempting.
So the raise is this.
So now you know I've got something and you're
Yep.
going all in. So that tells me that you're stronger because you know I've got, I could have the flush there, I could
I
have
am
the straight
strong.
there.
It's
So you
true.
must be strong, and I don't think it's a bluff. But again, in both instances, I need a card, so I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to fold that.
Oh, you were very close to even money against me.
Right.
I have 4s with an ace, so I also had a draw.
You didn't even have a spade.
Nope. But as it turns out, you were almost like a favorite. Let's just see what would have happened, because you would have won the match if you hit. There's a blank. And you
There's
would
my
have made a
spade.
flush.
I got my
You would have won the
sixes, though.
match. Yep.
I just didn't have the balls. I thought you already had. I thought you already had the flush. I had a straight draw and a flush draw. It wasn't a
See,
great.
that's the weird thing about my style, is that, you know, I wait, but then when I think I have the best hand, I push it in, and then
Right.
it sometimes seems stronger than I am. Cut them up.
So I suspected I didn't.
You
have
could have won
best
the
hand
match.
yet.
But
Well,
I think, I don't know if I would have called with your hand. You had a straight and a flush draw and 2 overcards.
Yeah.
The problem is if I have a flush draw, you're just not in very good shape.
that's what worried me.
Okay, you're 1.
Okay, and I'll check.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about raising.
Okay.
I'm all in.
Oh, well, I'm folding. My 9-4.
I had an ace.
Is that a flush draw again with the same card? Sometimes you got to be in it to win it.
The all in was a little aggressive there. You had 10 chips, right? How many do you have? Yeah, you have 12 chips. There's a little too much to risk with
Okay.
an ace.
Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to cut there. Is
It's
that okay?
I don't care. You want to raise?
I'm going to check.
Check.
3, it's a 9, it's a
Check.
7. I'm going to check.
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 Really? You're not trying to bluff? Check.
No, I don't like to bluff every hand, but I'm going to bet 2 on this.
Call.
Because you know I'm bluffing straight away else on a draw.
Ace high. Oh, now we're playing the
I knew
game.
that, yeah.
I called you with ace
I walked
high.
into that with my
No,
eyes
here's-
wide shut.
Here's the problem. Here's the
Egged
problem.
on.
I let you get away with some bluffs, and now I'm just calling you with ace high when there's
Right,
5
okay.
random cards out on the river.
No respect.
It's
Calling me
not
with
about
ace
respect. It's not about respect. It's
Just
about.
working out how I'm playing.
I gave you the chance to. No, Mike, cut him. You cut.
Sorry.
I gave you a chance to. I folded a couple to give you the illusion you could get away with bluffing.
Again,
I'm not going to raise.
I'm going to check. Get a bit 2.
I'm going to fold.
Okay.
That time, I'm pretty sure you had me beat.
And that time you're never going to know.
Well, I had a 6 and a 4, so I don't care that much.
I was definitely beating you then.
Yes, I'm
But
pretty
my-
sure
my
you're
10
had
high.
me beat. You want to raise?
No, I'm going to check.
I'm going to raise 3 chips.
Okay, and I'm going to call your 3 chips.
I'm all. Well, hold on, let me see. I should move in the dark, but no, I'm going to wait for a flop.
Okay.
I'm going to check.
Check.
2 chips.
And I missed completely.
What? Hold on a second.
Did you have a big hand?
Just not.
Oh
I just
my
flopped the
God.
nut flush. I just flopped the nut flush.
What was
Not
the
much
next
of a
card
hand.
Anyway? Another thing. I'd fucking 8 and a 5. Oh, shit hand. Now this is the difference. Look at
What
Phil's stack.
did you call 2 chips? You had a straight draw. You had
Oh
a
my-
straight draw.
I had a straight draw. I never noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I already had a made flush. Wow.
That's the
I
hand.
had
That's
the
the hand
big
I
flop.
want. That's the hand I want, and then I want you to say all in. And I'm like, okay.
My deal, Molly.
But I'm getting not the best of hands. at
Flop
the
the
moment.
nut flush. Wow.
I can feel the life draining from me right now, guys.
I'm going to raise 2 chips.
And I'm all in.
All right. I'm going to snap call.
Oh.
I
Okay.
have king queen suited. Ace 3. Here's a classic.
Slightly ahead at the moment.
1,
this
2,
could be it,
3,
guys. All he has to
7
do is
chips.
hit an ace or a queen, and he's beat me.
Now the interesting thing about this is I'm around 45% here.
Right. Okay.
But that means you have the edge. All right,
I'm not good in these
1, 2,
situations.
3. You want to do a Scooby slide?
Go for it. Go for it.
1, 1, 1, 1. So those are the cards. We can do the traditional flop turn river, or we can just flip them all up Scooby slide.
You choose.
For the viewers at home, we'll do them like this, 3 at a time,
Okay.
just because they know.
That's
Oh, a
good for
queen.
you. That's good for you. That puts me
That's a
I've got a
queen.
3. I've got a 3.
Yeah, but now I'm in great shape because now I know the math cold. You have
Right.
3 aces
right.
and 2 threes. Now you have 5 wins.
Okay.
So 5 wins multiplied by 4 are about 20%. So now I'm a huge favorite.
Oh dear.
There's a 4. Now you have more than 5 wins. You can win with a 5. You have 4 5s in the deck.
Right.
Okay. 3 aces and 2 threes.
Right.
Okay, so 4, 3, 2. You have 9 wins.
Okay.
And I have 35 wins. When I MC charity tournaments for, President Clinton and Tiger Woods and all these people, I call the math quickly. So you have 9 wins. I have 35 wins. You
So
need
on the
an
turn
ace,
of this card, sorry guys. Sorry
a 3,
or
or
a
5.
5. Give me an ace. That's
No,
how you do it, boys and
come
girls.
on.
That's how you beat Phil Hellmuth. Owen.
By the
so
way,
I've got
you're-
some chips back.
Yes, that's your pot.
2 pair.
Come on, I really thought that was
I
over.
didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it was over.
I thought it was over.
So we're
Yeah.
back in it, guys. That's
Your
how
deal.
easy it can happen, just like that. Last card.
Yeah, but you have to go back to the beginning. You had an ace, so you were actually 55%. But going after that flop, it looked very bleak for you.
It certainly did. I thought
Blake.
I thought that was it. And even with all those outs, I thought that was it. I thought you had me. I got lucky on the last card. Thank God for that ace. Okay, so we're back in it.
Yep, you have 14
Let's
chips.
try again.
I thought it was over. You want to raise?
I'm going to check.
I'll check. I'll check.
Yep. I'll check as well.
I'm going to bet 1 chip in the dark.
Okay. I'm going to call. In fact, yeah, I'll just call.
Check.
I'm going to go 3.
Wow, I have king high. I think
I have
maybe you hit a 4.
I hit a 4.
Yep,
I gave
I
it-
knew it. I
sort of
knew it.
Gave it away because I almost was going to raise
Because
on
you
it.
almost raised,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was. I said it before I thought about it.
Yep, you said.
Now, is one of your buddies, Mike Mattisau, he's been really unlucky in tournament games, hasn't he? I've been watching him over the years, and he's like,
He's a beauty, Mike. Mike's a beauty.
he's a great character. We were talking-
He's here somewhere in the hotel. He's staying here. I'm putting him in some cash games, some high stakes cash
Right.
games right now. I really like him. I mean,
You're good friends away from
yes,
the table,
yes,
aren't you?
Yes, we really are.
He's just one of the
I'm
funny.
going to raise 3.
He's one of the funniest guys in poker. I'm gonna call.
Okay. Remember, I've only raised 1 hand. I flopped the nuts. Remember that?
Yeah. I don't think that's a good flop for you.
Well, we'll see.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check.
I'm going to check.
I'm gonna bet 3.
I'm going to raise 3.
Okay. I'm gonna check again. I'm gonna fold. Because you got me somewhere
I had
again.
ace high.
Oh, beat me again.
But I
Not
raised.
intimidated. You can't intimidate him with the cards.
But I raised 3 there, which was a very skillful. Let's see if you would have gotten there. I don't know what you had, but queen hit you.
I think I did have a queen actually. I think I
Oh
had
my
queen 9.
God!
Let me
It's
just-
a good. Whoa! Thank God I raised.
Actually, I had king 8. I've just looked, and if I had king 8.
No, because you would have flopped.
Oh no, but
eights.
I didn't get the 8 then. I definitely had a king though. No, I don't think I hit the queen.
Whew.
Okay.
That was a really good raise on my part. For the poker players at home,
Right.
You should like my raise there.
With the ace.
Yeah, because I just thought ace 10 was good, and
Yeah, and ace is...
I don't want to call you down, but I want to raise and find out. You know.
Okay.
It's on you. You want to raise?
Now I'm going to check.
Want to raise 3?
Okay, let's go for it.
You keep going for it with these weaker hands. One of these times you're going to hit.
And it's the 4s again.
I'm all in.
I'm going to call.
I have ace queen.
5. I've got 2 spades.
So, all right, here's another interesting one. I also have the ace of spades. So, for those at home, if I were this sort of charity poker tournament, I'd be like, da 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 da. I like to do the da 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 da. He has da 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 8 spades. Da 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 3 sevens. You have 11 outs.
Right.
You're about 44%.
Right. Because
Turn
you've
one
got
off.
because you've got the queen, and so if I hit the queen, it's
Yeah, queen does not
void.
help you. You need a 7 or a spade. Hold it, stop. With 1 to come, we already know you have 11 outs. You have 5 spades
right.
and 3 sevens. Gives you 11 outs, but now I have 33 outs. I'm 3-1 favorite to win this
Okay.
and collect $500 from you.
And if I hit a 9 or a 4, it's a split pot.
Ah, good point. Well said.
Right.
Correct.
So,
You have 11 outs to win. There's some ties. Go
guys,
ahead.
it's not looking good this time.
It didn't look
So
good
I need
last
a
time
9,
either.
a 4, or any spade.
Or a 7's what you really want.
It's a 4.
Oh, come on.
That's exactly what I said.
Come
That's
on.
exactly what I said. It's a full house. It's a split pot.
It was
What's
a good
it?
call.
Wow.
Chop
Wow. Wow. I got. Okay, can't put me down.
I thought, yeah, I can't put you down. That's twice.
Okay.
You needed, I was about 3 or 4 to 1 favorite, both hands going to the river. Oh.
When the 2 spades came out on the flop, I thought
Of course you had to go
I
then.
had to go then. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you could have folded queen 7 suited before the flop, because I've only raised
Well,
3 times, and I showed you all
I was
3.
so short stacked as well. I thought.
Yeah. I am going to call.
Yeah, I'll check. I'll check. I'll bet 2.
Fold.
Had a 7. In fact, I had. How often do you play that?
God dang it, I should have bet
Beat
the
him with
flop.
7-2, guys.
Should have bet the flop. By the way, I only had 8 high.
Do you guys always do this 7-2 side bet?
That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun, like in the high stakes cash games,
Right.
because it creates more action.
Right.
Because then people will try to bluff with their 7 deuce. They'll go crazy. We've seen people bluff off like they're trying to win a side bet.
Yeah.
And look good on television, so they'll bluff off 150,000 with 7 deuce.
Right. Crikey. Just to win that side pot.
You want to raise it?
No, I'm going to check.
Deal. I'll check.
Check.
1 chip.
I'm going to fold. Because I've got absolute hee-haw shit.
I was a little hee-haw too, but I probably had you beat.
8 and a 9 I had.
I had you beat.
I need to get a good hand. I haven't really had a proper good hand yet.
True.
And it's
Well, you did make trips twice in a row.
well, on the last card. It's hard to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
on
the
it.
ace in the last. Yeah, that one, that was okay though. Like, check.
Check. Check. Was it? Sorry,
One
it's on
check.
you. Okay, I'm going to raise you 2 more.
I'm gonna raise you 2 more.
And I'm all in.
I'm gonna stuff it all in quickly.
Sorry, that's it there. 1, 2, 3, 5, I think.
So I raised you 2 more. I bet 1 chip. Okay, so I bet 1 chip.
Mm-hmm.
You raised me 2. I raised you 2 more. So this must be my stack right here.
Okay.
That means all these are yours. And I have a king.
I have a queen.
I kept limping in with king high, king high, king high. Finally hit a king. All right, now
So
I'm in really good shape again.
This is it.
This could be it. Yes.
I need a 2 or a queen.
Right. So you have 2 queens and 3 deuces. You have
Right.
5 wins.
Right.
You're about 20%. You can also hit backdoor spades.
Okay,
If
sure.
a king comes, it's just over.
Yeah.
By the way.
Okay. It's not looking good,
Going
guys.
to the river. 5 outs. We know you have 2 queens and 3 deuces. 5 outs for you. 38 outs. Excuse me, 39 outs for me. For the pro.
And is it all over? It's all over. He gets 2 pair.
There's no, kings and 5s. Yes. Oh,
I've tried my best, guys. I've won 3 big hands, and then.
So I want to tell you something that's interesting. So I was filming for the Kardashians, which I think is the biggest show in the world, right?
Filming for them in what sense? What, you were in an episode of the show, or?
I was in their episode in December.
Right.
Big episode. But I was filming with Khloe Kardashian.
Right.
But as we were filming in a club in LA. And she wanted to come to a real cash game. But it was pretty cool. So while I was filming, I ended up winning $25,000.
Really?
While we were filming.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. They never talked about it in the Kardashians. They didn't talk about win or loss.
Wow.
But so now while I'm filming with you, $500 US. Yum yum.
Still cheaper than paying. It's still cheaper than paying for an interview with the man. So we got a good deal on it. I think. Thanks.
You did get a free interview.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I had a big thumbs up for the Pennycar Stadium in Scotland for putting up that money. It's his money now, but I wish we had a bit of fun.
That was fun.
Thanks
I
for your
enjoyed it.
time, and I really wish you all the
Yes,
best tomorrow
thank
with your
you.
tournament, and of course, good luck with positivity and all your future endeavours.
Yeah, and by the way, if you look back, you would have won this if we would have been a little more aggressive on that.
Right.
4, 5, 7 flop.
Right.
But I still like the way you played it. Okay, folks.
Phil Hellmuth.